not get struck again.
Me too.
I'm still fighting the first one, so I would rather not deal with that again. What were we talking about? I was going for another 2 minutes because my Wi-Fi hates me.
Hassan Piker didn't have the same sentiments that his uncle had about the death of Charlie. Piece of shit.
Well,
yeah, I was watching part of Pierce Morgan yesterday when Cenk was freaking out, and my mom was like, "Who is that guy?" And I was like, "That's Hassan's uncle." And she goes, "That makes sense." It's like, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what though. My I also I think it's important that while you still keep your, like, say that for some reason tomorrow, like, Hillary Clinton was giving an event, like, and that same thing happened to her. I don't like her neither. However,
I'd
at a
say the
time
same
like
thing.
this,
I would say the same thing. You know what? Here's something else. When we all found out that Joe Biden had colon cancer, everybody said who didn't like him, "I don't like him, but I wouldn't wish cancer on him."
that's not true. A
A lot of
lot of
people
people
will.
were making fun of him.
Some people, yes, that's the extreme right. But
People that we know, Roland, were
maybe
making fun of him.
people that you know. I mean, a lot of people that I know aren't.
Like people that like mutual, like, high school people that you and I know were.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it, but I
Yeah,
would never. I
yeah.
would never. And if I
I'm not
saw
saying you.
if one of our friends did say that, I would say to them, "My dad's had 4 cancers. I prefer you don't make that joke." I can make the joke. I can joke about cancer. I've fucking lived with it for 6, 7 years.
Right, but
Not
I'm
personally,
just
but
saying,
like
look,
I've seen it affect my
and
father greatly.
and
5 times.
and
4
and
different
to
types of
keep
cancer,
it
5 different cancers.
to keep it, like, fully a hundo here, like, do you remember when that Minnesota lawmaker got killed?
Yes.
People on the right were making fun of her dying too. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and
I'm just saying.
those same people have this are just as disgusting as the people making fun of Charlie Kirk right now.
Well, but I'm just saying that, like, it's got to stop on, like, both sides, and we have to hold it accountable on both sides.
So
And
for
I
instance, I
just
know
think,
for a fact that Gary hates Gavin Newsom, but he has literally said, "I don't want him dead." Do I think he needs to be in jail for what he did to California? This is Gary speaking. He says yes. But just do I want him dead? Absolutely not. Like, and that's just one instance. Like a lot of the people that I see that you would consider maybe on the right, but most of them are really just moderates, never said that Joe should die. Any sane person didn't was like, I don't like him, but it fucking sucks he has cancer, and colon cancer is one of the worst ones. I mean, even Donald Trump was like, "This is horrible. Don't make fun of him."
Donald Trump said that he had stage 9 colon cancer. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, yeah, because it's fucking far up. He's gonna die. It might as well be
There
stage 9.
is there is no stage 9 cancer.
No, we know that, but it's so far into his system. There's no way. It was an exaggeration. It's like when I say it takes a million miles to get somewhere, or it's gonna take a million years for this.
Joe probably deserves prison, but Trump isn't in jail, so he is Gucci too. No. They both need to be in. They both need to be in prison.
I do
Both of them.
just think that Joe's not going to be here that much longer. He wouldn't even understand what prison is
I don't
anymore.
care.
There's no
That might
point in
sound harsh, but
there's no point in imprisoning somebody who has dementia.
with that same logic, if Jeffrey Dahmer had lived to be old, you could have let him out.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I'm saying by that same logic, like
No, it's
if
not.
he lived,
That is not the same logic, because Jeffrey Dahmer, even with dementia, would still murder people.
yeah,
It would
yeah,
actually probably be
yeah, no,
worse if he was murdering people with dementia, because he'd forget he did it and then go out there and do it again, and then forget he did it and then go out there and do it again, even faster. Yes, I agree, but it wasn't the right that had major political figures pushing violence. That is true.
Jesse Waters just called for war 2 days ago.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
No, 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 no.
Now you misheard him. You misheard him.
I was trying, I was trying to understand Roland's logic. I was trying to understand what Roland's logic was
Yeah,
because
by the time we're doing this show for like 20 years, you would I'm gonna make sure you have the logic played, just like Mindy bias.
what are you gonna lock me into like a grave mine or something?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just talk.
My hell's just talking to
Admit,
Matt Walsh
your
for
hell
like
is just the podcast never ending. It's just 1,000 years.
my hell's just me talking to Matt Walsh for like 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's just you and Matt Walsh talking.
It's not one person, Crimson. It was a lot of right wing people on social media saying that like the Dems did this to Charlie and that
But he's
they
talking about politically. And you know what? Before we get we're not going to talk about conspiracy theories with this. We can talk about all of that in the Monday Night Mayhem chat. We're not going to talk about conspiracy theories like crazy right now because we don't know enough. And I don't want to start saying
exactly
that I don't know about. Now,
right.
the Fuentes shit is very fucking interesting. And I hope more comes out about that.
Yeah. Because if that's true, then but the point that I'm making is that like there were a lot of and just saying like there were a lot of right wing people that were like calling for violence against left wing people after what happened to Charlie.
Yes, and a
Like,
lot of people were saying don't do that.
but what I'm saying is that like if it was like say that like Bernie had like gotten shot, um, if Bernie had gotten shot, like if if um if Bernie had gotten killed, right? And like the left was calling for like revolution, right? Like that would be like plastered all over like Facebook and shit like that.
Roman,
But like
again to
but
my
like
point, do you see conservatives actually out there rioting? No, you do not. Even with people calling for this, because guess what? The conservatives realize that's not the way to do things. Now, the Summer of Love happened for a reason. And that's because all these left wing people were saying riot, and a million people took it as an option to go riot. Do you see them actually rioting right now and listening to these people? I don't. Is Philadelphia burning? Is LA burning? Is New York burning? Is Chicago burning? Well, Chicago's always burning, but is Detroit burning? No. These big cities that were all filled up with riots during the Summer of Love are not rioting over this. This is not the same thing as George Floyd. So what does that say to you? That says to you that when people on the left, and this is a pattern again, when people on the left are calling for violence and rioting, they listen. When there's random people on the right now going, go out there and riot, and guess what? Most of the people on the right all have guns, big guns. They're not out there rioting, dude.
what prominent left wing figure currently is calling for violence?
I'm not saying anybody right now is calling for violence on the left currently.
Okay then. Okay.
But I'm saying that if there, like, literally there was people doing it and everybody listened. Jasmine Crockett, okay.
In a tweet or what?
Well, muffler tape. Look at actually like any of the interviews. Look at any of the interviews on Piers Morgan where he has a left wing and a right wing person. A lot of the right wing guys, 9 times out of 10, some of them freak out, but he brings on specific ones to freak out, right? But a lot of the left people, they always just get loud and start yelling. And that is like a microcosm of the acting childish versus taking it like an adult. And I do see this, right? I watch a lot of these different roundtable interviews, even the ones that are on Jubilee, where it's like tons of people that get to debate one person. Well, Hassan is a massive leftist figure, and he has been calling for violence, and a lot of people, we know how many people watch him. She was on stream saying for her birthday, someone would take Elon Musk out. That's crazy. Oh yeah, just recently as well. What's his name? Gavin Newsom said that you should, take conservatives behind the barn and punch them.
I mean, I'm not for that. I
But
think
you
that
asked me what left wing people are giving violence right now. Just named 4 of them.
Gavin Newsom is not a left winger.
He considers himself to be one.
No, he's not one though.
He's their top pick right now for the fucking presidency on the left. No one's gonna vote for that asshole.
No. How many times, Roland? I don't know how many times I gotta fucking tell you this. There is a difference between a Democrat and a lefty. Okay, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you that.
I know this.
So then why'd you just call him a lefty? He's not.
He is considered to be on the left. That's what I just said.
Yeah, probably by retards, but he's not
No,
one.
by definition, he is a Democratic governor. He is considered to be on the left. He is not moderate. He is considered, if you are a Democratic governor, you are considered on the left, just like if you are a conservative governor, you are considered to be on the right. More times out of 10. To a normal person, to a general, not to us, because we actually look into these things, to a person on the street, if I said, are Democrats left? Most people would go, yes. To most people, it's no different, but you want to not be considered the same as him. Yeah, and Roman's not the same as Gavin Newsom.
If you look at Gavin Newsom's policies, he actually governs more like a
fucking fascist. Yes.
Let me cook. Okay, so
all right, since your Wi-Fi is working right now, I've been holding it, bro. I got to use the bathroom so bad. I'll be back.
Yeah, go. So if you look at like his policies for California, he vetoed a bill that would have guaranteed all Californians access to healthcare. The left wing wants that. He has allowed drilling to like basically consume all of California. That's big. That's big oil. He basically has he actually increased student loan debt on Californians, not to mention also the fact that he was extremely harsh on homeless people. So he definitely is not what I would consider to be a left-leaning person. Is he a Democrat? Sure, but he's not a left-leaning person. Because if he governed as a left-leaning person, personally, this is my own point of view. Not saying that California would be in a better spot, but he is a commie because he doesn't want care for he is a commie because he doesn't want care for the people. He just wants power. That doesn't Rolando, I don't believe that's I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but that's not, I don't think, the definition of a communist. That's not what a communist is. I don't disagree with your sentiment. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I don't think that that's what a communist is. Because By all technicality, if you want to be technical, and by the way, I don't believe in communism, but communism technically, by the technical term, um, yeah, exactly. You're finally picking that shit up. Exactly. That's the whole point that I am making. That's the point. What have I been saying for the last 3 years? The left's not in power. Duh. I've been saying that. Duh. Brain don't comprehend, y'all. I've been telling you guys that. I've been saying that. I've been saying this for years now. Even before. Even before. Again, no. The wrong definition. You know what they are? They're corrupt. They're not commies. They're not even close to being communists. They're all capitalistic hawks. That's what they all are. Not even close to the same thing. Not even close to the same thing. Not even close to the same thing. But you finally picked it up. You finally understand. You finally get it. It took so long for everybody to comprehend it. I I have been saying that. I've been saying this for so long now. Why do you think that they stopped Bernie from winning in 2016 and 2020? Because the Democrats hate the left wing. They hate the left wing. Joe Biden voted against gay marriage in 2008. Okay? He was the vice president in 2009. Okay? All right? He was for segregation. Okay? The left, get out of here. Stop. Yes, they are. That's the only history the communists have shown to gain power and rule with absolute power. You say that as Palantir is being passed through. All right, pal. Sure. Okay. So the NSA, if you want to be technical, okay, sure. Let's see. The Democrats who voted in favor of keeping the NSA around, I'll agree with you on that one. That's fair. Okay. But the NSA was done by George W. Bush, I think, 2003. 2003. Yes. And every Democrat that voted in favor of implementing that, sure. Nah, we be living in a utopia world. um, this is an entirely semantic argument to argue the Democrats are not left of center. I have nothing to say to you on that subject. If you want to look at the policy base, so they're left socially, okay? They're not like far left, but they're left socially. All right. But in terms of economics, they're not the same as the Republicans, but they're kind of like um neoliberals are not left. Hold on. Let me actually look at the definition. Are they are what you call neoliberals. Neoliberals. Let's see. Um They are neoliberals. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Crimson, I'm not coping, homie. It was
I don't know.
literally before I dropped.
I don't know. I think you might be coping a little bit. I was just listening to that while I was taking my shit.
Not coping
Coping,
even in the
coping makes
not
you
coping
happy
even in the
too.
slightest. Let me finish. Let me finish. I was on something here. Okay. Neoliberalism is an economic and political philosophy that is complex and does not fit neatly on the traditional left-right political spectrum. While it is most closely associated with the political right due to its focus on free markets and limited government, it has also been adopted by certain center-left political figures and parties. This has led to the term being used in different ways and as a point of contention among various ideological groups. Okay. Let's see.
Roman,
Why
did you?
neoliberalism is typically seen as right wing. Historical figures. The most well-known proponents of neoliberal policies are the 1980s leaders Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, both of whom were prominent right-wing figures. Core economic beliefs. Neoliberalism emphasizes free market capitalism. Okay, that's literally most of the Democrats. Deregulation, privatization, and a limited role for the government in the economy. These policies are traditionally associated with the political right. Minimal state intervention. The philosophy holds that robust capitalist markets, not government intervention, are the most effective way to allocate resources and foster economic prosperity. Why do you think that most Democrats are not for a national healthcare system? Because of that. Individual liberty over collective well-being. It prioritizes individual freedom within the market over collective social goals, viewing heavy taxation and regulation as theft. Okay. All right, then. Let's see this then. Why some associate neoliberalism with the center left, third way politics. In the 1980s and 90s, some centrist political leaders from historically left-leaning parties embraced aspects of neoliberalism. Bill Clinton in the US and Tony Blair in the UK are often cited as the examples of this third way politics. All right, then. So Bill Clinton, who, by the way, the Democrats still modeled their whole party after now, was a neoliberal. Okay. Market-based solutions. These leaders incorporated market-oriented reforms such as free trade agreements and reduced welfare spending alongside socially liberal positions. Evolution of the term. For some, neoliberal evolved to signify a centrist or moderate liberal approach in the American context as opposed to the more conservative libertarian strain. Did I stutter?
Somebody say strain. Somebody say strain. What kind of
I said
indica or sativa? Neoliberal strain.
Exactly that. I don't want national health too. We need to regulate the prices. I can't read. Oh, okay. We need to regulate the prices these companies set them at, or let other companies be able to start to make affordable meds and healthcare. Well, insulin's about to go back up in price again. That was AI, but if you take a political compass test, which I do, it'll literally tell you the same thing. So, was that AI? Sure, but it'll literally tell you the same thing. How is my interpretation wrong? That's literally what the definition is.
I mean, Bill Clinton, you're welcome to come on and talk about it.
The biggest issue with medication is patent law, which is some bullshit. Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, absolutely.
But
what did I say earlier, bro? Big Pharma and BlackRock. It always goes back to those fuckers and Microsoft.
The point, which was the point that I was making earlier about that we shouldn't lose sight of who our actual enemies are.
Bro, here's what's nutty. How many people know what the MS and MSNBC stands for? Do you know?
I don't.
My mom didn't either. It stands for Microsoft.
No, really?
Because they own ABC.
No shit, really?
Yeah. Or NBC. MSNBC. MS is Microsoft. They removed the MS because a lot of people were like, why does Microsoft own the news? So the news, all news channels in the country are owned by 3 companies. Disney, Microsoft, BlackRock.
Interesting.
And when the law was passed into the Munt law was passed by Obama, it allowed for propaganda against the American people. Look it up. So the news has been able to lie to us.
You told me about that.
We know they did it during COVID because now they're telling you that masks did nothing. So all of us out there that were, because me, again, as a scientist who has studied anatomy and biology, I'm going, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. And they used propaganda and fear mongering to keep everybody locked the fuck down. We know this now. Fauci's a criminal. He
I think
literally
I'm locking him
said,
up then.
he literally said that we need to keep people scared so that we can control them. That's what he said.
There's still been zero.
If you keep the
There's
population,
still.
if you keep the
There's
population
still.
safe, you win.
There's still been zero. Well, but there's still been zero arrests though. What happened to all of the accountability that was
Exactly. Exactly.
supposed to be coming?
Exactly.
I mean, it seems like and like
because he's big
I'm
pharma,
just
bro. He's big pharma. He's part of the regime. They run everything.
well, I'm just saying this like does no like look,
I mean, look at the
Roland,
shit
you
George Soros says, bro. George Soros literally has said things like, "We need to control everything so we can keep the population in line." He's talked about the New World Order. That's scary
you were
shit.
you were you were you were against the COVID vaccine, right?
Yeah, I'm against vaccines in general. I'm not anti-vax. I mean, I guess I am. I like my body the way it is. I won't put anything. I've gotten a tetanus vaccine, and that's out of my body now. I don't need to get it again. I'm not gonna get it again because unless I do restoration work again, where I'm working with rusty metal all the time. I'm not getting a tetanus shot. That's the only shot I've ever gotten.
Would it be
I don't have
all
any
right for me?
vaccines.
Would it be all right for me to ask you, like, not like kind of like a, and like I'm asking this genuinely, but like it might be thought like provoking here. So
I mean, if you guys
would
have vaccines, I don't give a shit. But I personally am not going to put anything from any government into my body.
so
I don't even take
here's my
Advil if I have a headache.
so before I ask part 2 of my question, I need to know from part 1 of my question, did you think that the COVID vaccine was a was prohibiting people's liberty?
Yes.
Did you think that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You
So
can't enter this building if you don't have it. You can't work. You will get
okay.
fired from your
So
job if you don't have it.
so
People got
let me
fired
ask
for having it.
so let me ask you a question, and I think this is fair to ask you. Um why would, and I genuinely believe that you believe that. But why then did you vote for the guy that did Operation Warp Speed?
Because I told you why. I told you why in good conscience I couldn't vote for Kamala Harris.
Do
Because of
values
how
not
many
matter
people.
anymore?
What?
Do like standing on conviction doesn't matter anymore?
I did stand on my conviction. That conviction was more important to me than warp speed. The conviction of the thousands of people that went away for basically the same exact reason that I almost went to prison and and are still in there.
People couldn't go to the gym because they were unvaccinated, and you voted for the guy that got that vaccine through.
Yeah, because my conviction of somebody that's put away, that would have put me away. She would have put me away if she had the fucking chance. I would be in prison if she had the fucking chance. So, Roman, yes, I cannot vote for her. I could not. In my convictions, could not. I, again, do not like the government. I don't like the government controlling me. I don't like anything else. But I also do not like Kamala Harris as a human being a little bit more than I don't like Trump. Because guess what? One of the things that Trump has always pushed for and helped a lot with in his first presidency was drug addicts and helping addicts. Kamala Harris would rather put them all away. So that to me, I could not
I
Yeah,
mean, he's also on video saying that people should get like triple and like quadruple boosted. Like,
yeah. No,
I'm not
I yes, and I still thought that was stupid at the fucking time.
I'm not making that up. Like
No, but
like like you
I would rather have voted. Yes, I could not vote for somebody who would like to see me in prison or any of the nice people that I've met through sobriety in prison. I couldn't.
well, what I'll tell you, Muffler,
Once you
and
look into what she
we
did when she was district attorney, when you look into that shit, how many people did she put away in her time as district attorney
oh, I 1000%. I
for petty
I
crime? For petty weed, for having weed on you, bro. 18-year-olds getting put away for
I
fucking 10 years for like 3 grams,
yeah,
ruining people's lives.
I understand that. I understand that. Um to
So
this
yes, in
point,
good
Muffler, though,
conscience, I could not vote for somebody that would like to see me in prison.
if we had a system that is literally like not holding anybody accountable for anything, then what the hell do we have? And like, I'm not saying to burn it down. What I'm saying is that the system needs to be like overworked, or not
Yeah,
like
of course.
overworked, like fixed.
Rework.
Not
Rework is what
not
you meant.
yeah, not like burned down to the not burned to the ground. But honestly, I might be opting out of the system too, because what like what like there are days where like I'm just so done.
So,
Like it's
Roman, let
just
me ask you this: if you're talking about opting out of the system type of thing, then there's one person that you don't like very much that's trying to change the system. That person's name is Elon Musk, who wants to start the American Party. They want to change the system. You talking about reforming the system? How do you feel about the American Party's existence?
I am now more than ever a proponent of third parties.
Yeah,
I I I would yeah, you know what? My tune might be changing a little bit.
Monsanto is one of the evilest companies on the planet. They have hit squads. They kill people. They really do. There's documentaries on it. If a bee from one of their fields flies over and pollinates one of your flowers, that's Monsanto property now. And they will literally fucking assassinate people for it. People have been killed by Monsanto. And it's not fully fucking proven, but people with black fucking cars roll up, paramilitary rolls up, and they will take you the fuck down.
So
They're evil.
let me ask you guys, because Roland and I
Watch the documentary
we
King Corn. Watch the documentary King Corn. It's like an hour
we
and a half
talk on
long. It's all about corn.
we talk on the phone like 3 or 4 times a week, and he just called me one day to ask me about like Elon starting a third party. So let me ask you guys, and I don't want to hear the flowery BS about how voting for a third party is a waste of your vote. Um,
Yeah, what if a lot of Americans actually join it? You know what I mean?
that's kind of my thing. Like, what
Because
if?
it's not Green Party. It's completely different than Green Party. It would technically even be a fourth party, which would just be all American values. Americans.
Well, no,
Moderates.
no.
Moderate
It
fucking
would be a
values.
fifth party.
Oh,
It
I
would be a
guess you're
fifth
right.
party.
Yeah.
The Libertarians.
Yeah, the Libertarians would be a fifth party.
But my question is that how many of you would be willing to, in a general election, like genuinely, I'm not even saying that I need like an answer like right now. We're still 3 years out. But how many of you would be genuinely willing to consider possibly voting for Elon's party, depending on who they put up?
I would.
Like, like, like
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
would
of
genuinely consider it. Depending on who it is, I would genuinely consider it. If
because
the person holds American values, it is literally just America. Like if it's just American values and like a lot of Americans were joining it and it was a big push and it was a good person, I would consider it.
That's
No,
exaggerated. They were all out
they do have.
pharmacies
They have a
together.
private
It
army.
led to people getting killed.
I've seen
I'm saying that
documentaries.
was evil, but I doubt the paramilitary claims.
No, they have paramilitary. They do. Look into it.
Um,
They have security force. They okay, maybe it's not paramilitary. It's a security force that looks like a blacked out SWAT team with guns. They do. Especially in other countries, they do.
that doesn't mean that you don't try though, Muffler.
Well,
Like
yeah,
it's
no, I agree with Rolando as well. I want to know policies. Yes, dude, I'm talking. Yeah, obviously, if we see a person, we see all this other stuff. Muffler is quite older than us, a little bit wiser. But excuse me. No, I genuinely do think that if I saw a good push, I saw a lot of Americans joining it. I saw a lot of American values in it that I agreed with. And it held my values, I would consider it. I mean, I've considered voting third party before. I didn't, but I considered it. My dad voted third party in the 2016 election because he did not like Hillary and he didn't like Trump. My mom got all mad at him because she told him he threw his vote away. But he said, I still voted, still said my piece.
I vote third party like 99% of the time, so I don't fault anybody that, does it because how can you cuz generally a third party like one of the two major parties is going to win either way. So you're not throwing your vote away. It's it's more so a statement. Like
Well,
in
yeah.
2020, I can be one of those people that says that I voted for Howie Hawkins. Like,
Well, yeah, Cammy, I mean, you are part of the problem by not voting. I would agree with that. That's
yeah,
the one thing I said
honestly,
about Charlie Kirk earlier is that whether you agreed with him or not, one of the major things that I think he did was bring so many college kids that said, I'm not going to vote into the fold. Whether or not they voted left or right, he made people more interested in politics and made young people vote. The amount of people that I know in my age that go, my vote doesn't matter. I'm not going to vote. At least fucking register and vote in your local elections. Your local elections are what directly affect you. Directly. If you got a really shitty police commissioner, you're going to want to vote him out or her out. You know what I'm saying? If you got a really shitty
yeah,
mayor
and
that's ruining the township, then you want to vote that person out. Crap party at this
what would
point.
happen most likely right now is the fracturing and reconstitution of the Democrat Party due to how much they are losing. The Republicans save that by having Trump save it. Yeah, but the
No,
Republicans are cooked in but listen, the Republicans are cooked in 28 because I don't think that anyone's gonna have as much sauce as Trump does for them.
no, I don't know who we're gonna have, but no. Here's the thing. Muffler's not completely wrong with fracturing and reconstituted Democratic Party. Because guess what? I've been thinking about it for a couple years. I do not align with the Democrats anymore. I don't. They're just I don't align with their values anymore. My dad's been Republican his entire life, who's just cared about the environment, and I think I'm at this point, especially after this past week, and seeing so many people like just that are clearly registered Democrats just spewing this fucking hate. I can't.
Who? Who?
So many people.
Who?
So many people. I don't know what else to tell you.
Who?
Roman, a million different people on the fucking internet. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. I don't. The only reason I ever registered Democrat is for the shit they would do for the environment, and now they're just as bad for it as the Republicans.
And so because of that, you want to become a Republican, even though they're just as bad?
Well, I've always had more conservative values. But if they're all going to do the same shit for the environment, then I might as well just go with the party I've always more so agreed with. My dad's been a Republican his entire life. He don't give a fuck.
What
Still a good person. He's moderate, but he's registered Republican because he has more conservative values. I am moderate
What
with more conservative values, but I care about the environment. Nobody gives a fuck about the environment anymore, so there's no reason for me to be a Democrat. I might as well go with the one that has the more conservative values that I agree with. The only reason I didn't switch that for this past election was because I wanted to show that a Democrat was voting for Donald Trump. I wanted to show that, which is why I did not change from the Democratic Party before voting. Now after this, I most certainly a lot of the things I'm seeing, Roman, just doesn't align with me. I don't want to call myself a Democrat. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. And that's okay. I'm not changing my values at all. I'm simply switching to a different party. And that I will still continue to vote Democrat or vote Republican if I like the person because of their policies.
So I think this is a fair question. What specific policies have the Republicans done that you like? Don't Google it. What specific policies? Because you're changing to a whole party. So what policies have they passed that you like?
I'm not talking about current policies. I'm talking about values.
You just said policies. What?
I said I will still vote. Yes, Roman, because I still vote. I still voted for fucking Governor Shapiro because of his policies. It doesn't matter. I'm talking like when it comes to voting, I look up people, I do my research on them. Right now, I'm not going to tell you what fucking policies I like from people in our state. I vote Republican and Democrat in every election because of certain people. I vote for Frank Ferry because I know him personally, and he's done a lot for my family. I vote for Joe Hogan because Joe Hogan did a lot for my dad and helped my dad a lot during his cancer problems. And it doesn't matter that I don't agree with like all of the things he does. But I also voted for Governor Shapiro because I think he was a good governor. So seriously, it doesn't. When it comes to an election, that's when I look at policies. When it comes to my party's values, I think those have changed, and I just don't. Personally, I don't want to call myself a Democrat anymore. I just don't. I've been thinking about this for years, since before COVID, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever chose the right party, because when I was 18, I said, I don't know which party I am, and my mom goes, you're a Democrat because you like the environment. So that's what I picked. And then I realized, like, I'm not. I'm more so like my dad. And my dad also loves the environment, but he's a Republican. And him and I share very similar views. So I'm like, you know what? Why am I sitting here in something I don't really feel like I fully agree with?
Brother, the director of the EPA currently is allowing for big oil to drill in national parks.
Yeah, I know that.
That's your party.
Yes, I know that. I don't agree with it. But guess what? The Democrats ain't fucking stopping it. The Democrats did a lot of shit for the environment too. Some of these things were put in play by the Biden administration. So that's right. So I don't. So I've always had conservative Republican or moderately conservative like views. Then why the fuck? At this point, when I was only a Democrat for the reason that they were helping the environment, and they don't give a fuck about it. Gavin Newsom let his entire fucking state burn down. So I do not consider myself a fucking Democrat anymore. They don't care.
But
so if the one reason that I was like pro-Democrat is they're not doing it and they're doing the exact same thing as the other side, then I'm going to continue to. I'm moderately conservative. So I'm joining the Republican Party. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, especially after this. Roman, at the end of the day, I have explained myself. They do not share the same values as me anymore. I've seen way too much shit over the past 5 to 6 years that I just don't agree with.
I'm not saying that you're incorrect. I also just think that policies matter too. And
they matter whenever it comes to a vote. I will still vote bipartisan. I always do.
I just don't know how you could want to be like registered with the people that are currently doing Palantir. Like that's something that I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, what's going to
If I was
happen regardless? I want to be on the same party as my dad. I agree with my dad on way more subjects than I do with my mom, and I like. I feel as though I really am one. I think that I
do
am more
you
so
feel
like my
like
dad.
do you feel like you own your vote?
What do you
Like
mean?
you own what happens if someone wins?
Like my vote matters?
I'm saying like
I do
yeah,
feel like
like
my vote matters. Yeah.
I'm saying like do you feel like if you vote for someone and then that person does like bad things, do you feel responsible for that?
No. People change and people lie. They're all politicians. They're all liars. I'm not
See, because
responsible for it. That's why the same way that the only person that's responsible for Charlie Kirk's death is the murderer. However, the media most certainly influenced it, so some of his blood is on their hands.
are we arguing for collective guilt? No. What I'm saying is that if Roland's going to join the Republican Party,
I'm already in the process.
um, what I'm saying is that you own Palantir and you own the Epstein cover up. Are you happy with that?
I think the entire government owns the Epstein cover-up, Roman.
Answer
That's
my
been
question.
it's been through. No, that's not me. It's not me. I'm a
So
moderate
then why are
person.
you joining the party then?
Why am I joining the party then? Because a lot of their
Yeah.
the party's values I agree with more. That is why.
Like
More conservative values. I like my fucking
like
guns. I like my freedom. I don't like what the Democratic Party has become. I don't know how many more times I have to tell you this.
freedom to do what? Freedom for Operation Warp Speed that they passed through?
No.
So then what freedom?
Roman, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't agree with either side. But politically, my dad and I are basically the fucking same.
I'm trying to I'm I'm trying to get
I do
concrete
not
stuff
like
out of you.
either side. I do not like either side. But guess what? At this point in time, I do not agree with the Democratic Party. Guess what's beautiful about
I
our
get
country?
that.
Guess what's great
I
about
get
our
that.
country? You can change your party whenever the fuck you want. So if I end up switching back to Democrat at some point in my life, I can do that. If I end up
I'm not
switching to
saying that
the
you should.
American Party,
What I'm saying
I can do that.
is that I'm trying to get concrete stuff out of you because I want to I don't what I'm trying to understand is that why do you feel like what values what what specifically because you said
Good
freedom.
Christian values. Good Christian values. I'm sick and tired of cancel culture. Cancel culture fucking lost. The Democratic Party did cancel culture. A lot of the people on the left were doing cancel culture. They fucking lost that, so now they're killing people, Roman. And you know what? They could have.
Oh, all right,
And it's
all right,
more
bro,
than that. It's
all
more
right,
than that.
bro,
It's more
all
than
right,
that.
bro, all
It's
right, bro,
more than that.
all right,
It's a
bro.
lot more than that. There's not a single Democrat out there right now, other than like maybe our governor, a couple other people here and there that I'm like, oh wow, I really agree with that person, or I like that person. There's I don't know how else to explain it to you, dude. They just don't share like the same mind state that I used to have. Like I said, it is as simple as I have always had more conservative values. I've always thought the same way that my father has, in just like the same way. We don't talk politics that often. But when we do, we agree on a lot. We disagree on other things. He didn't vote for Trump. I did. But he didn't vilify me for it. And he was a Republican that didn't vote for Trump, and I was a Democrat that did. And my whole point is, I just, especially after what happened over the past presidency, I mean, I don't know how else I have to explain it other than the fact that the only reason I was a Democrat is because my mom fucking told me I had to be because I cared about the environment. And I don't think that I really ever was. I don't think I did a lot of research. I don't think I ever really did. I listened to mommy.
I mean, if you did
I
research, but
think
you
if I
found
had
you're not a
actually done, if I
Republican,
didn't ask
but
my mom what my politics were when I was, if I instead, if I had done a little bit more research when I was 18, I probably would have been a Republican. Because when I took the test,
if you did more research, no, no, no,
fell
no.
under
If
moderate conservative, Roman.
if when you were 18, you actually like did research and thought for yourself, you probably would have been like a libertarian. That's what you would have
Yes,
been.
but I also wouldn't have picked that because that means I would have. I was actually. That's true. But I was told to pick Democrat because at like literally I wouldn't be able to vote in the primary if there wasn't somebody else. I remember this. That's why I was told to pick Democrat.
Yeah, well, I don't really, I, I don't
I mean, we can get
really
off the subject and get on to
believe in
something
the
else.
primaries anymore. I don't really like, believe in primaries anymore anyway. But no, I was just trying to get like because
It is
I do
concrete.
think all
It's as concrete as I was only part of them because of the environment. And they're not doing shit for it. That's it. It is that concrete. The only reason I stayed a Democrat was because of that, was because of the environmental work they were doing. And the Biden administration went back on that. The only person that actually was fucking doing anything about the environment was Obama. And then he also went back on that towards the end of his term. And now no one gives a fuck about the environment. And I thought Joe Biden would bring some of those policies back, and he didn't. So I just.
did he
Well,
not
Rolando, I don't want government. I want that. Well, not. I don't want anarchy. We're not. It's not anarchists. Libertarians want the least amount of government involvement in their lives. That's different than no government at all.
I'm a registered Republican because I'm pro-individual. I'm free speech absolutist. I'm opposed to big government, and I believe in traditional. See, there we go.
Well, that's basically what I was saying.
So
I said I
you're
like good
for
American values. I am pro
you're
2A. I'm pro 2A. I'm pro individual. Absolutely. I am opposed to a big government. And I
are
did say,
you?
yes, and I did say traditional American values. I said that.
If you're opposed to a big government,
I'm opposed to
then
Trump's authoritarian views. Yes.
then then you're signing on to the party that's literally doing Palantir.
Palantir is happening regardless.
I'm just saying. You say that you're against big government.
I think Palantir is both sides. I think Palantir is BlackRock. Palantir is shadow government. Palantir is not one-sided. Palantir is going to be everything. Palantir's Skynet, brother.
Also, you're joining the party that passed through the NSA.
I know.
You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. The NSA ain't going nowhere, though. I don't like Bush.
So then how in the hell can you say that you're for small government then? When you're joining the party that did the NSA? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Because a
How?
lot of Republicans right now are for small government. They weren't back then.
The Republicans that are keeping the NSA alive are for
Not the
small government.
people. Not the Republican people.
No, I'm talking about the politicians.
Both sides are keeping the NSA alive at this point. I hope you realize that.
You are joining. It's not just the voters when you join a party, Roland. It's not
Yeah,
just a. So you are joining a party that is keeping the NSA alive, but
I'm
you
also,
want smaller government. Does that make sense to you?
the NSA isn't going anywhere, Roman.
That doesn't matter, Roland. You said that you want smaller government, but
Yeah.
you're joining a party that is keeping the NSA alive.
They're not
If
the
you
only ones
really
keeping
believe
the
that,
NSA alive.
if you
Keeping the
if
NSA alive.
if you really believe that, you would become a libertarian. If
And then
you
I wouldn't
really
be able
believe
to.
that.
Yes, and then I
If
wouldn't be
you
able to
really
vote in the
believe that,
primary. And then I wouldn't be able to vote in the
if you
primary.
really believe that, if you really believed it, you would become a libertarian. If you
Yes, and then
really actually,
I would not be able to
okay,
vote in the primary. So I'm not doing that.
okay, all right then. So then don't say that you're for small government then, because you're not.
Okay, but we are. Yeah, you're putting all Republicans in the same basket the way that you said that we're putting all Democrats in the same basket. You can't
I'm
make
looking
these
at
blanket
voting records,
statements.
dog. I'm
You
looking at voting
can't look
records,
at
dog.
you can look at voting records, bro, but you can't put
Voting
you
records
can't put them
are
all
the
in the same basket.
are vote. So when 90, so when every Republican voted to block the release of the Epstein files, that's not fair to put them all in the same basket. That's not fair.
That wasn't the people, Roman.
I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about it's not just the people
You
that are
don't think
part of
that
the
you
party
think
release.
Democrats weren't on there? You think Democrats were not on the files? You think Democrats didn't vote to keep
I'm not
them
saying
hidden?
that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it's not just the people. I don't have a problem with Republican voters. What I'm saying is that the politicians are the ones who are keeping the size of government big. But you claim to be against small or against big government. So if
Yes,
that's true,
yes, but this is an American issue. The Republican values, conservative values, are small government. Is that happening right now? No, but
so
that
then why are
is
you joining the party then?
because that is the value of the party, which we're trying to get back to.
How? How? They're not being held accountable. It literally just slid under the radar.
The American people are trying to hold them accountable. What did I say earlier? They killed Charlie Kirk for a reason. To make everybody stop talking about the Hellfire missile and the Epstein files, which we should all be terrified about the Hellfire missile that fucking UFO tanked less than a year ago. We shot at an possible enemy aircraft from a different dimension and or planet. We might have just fucked up majorly by shooting at them.
Crimson. When that shit first came out, there was a singular bill. There was a singular bill with one thing on it asking for the release of the Epstein files. Every Republican voted no. Every single one of them, including our own Senator Brian Fitzpatrick, voted no on it. Every single one of them.
Well, you
Every
know
single
what?
one of
Well,
them. Everyone.
however, I believe I can fly. No, I believe that
I wish I could fly.
I believe that if they didn't, no, teleportation's better because you could just teleport really fast and make yourself fly.
Yeah, true.
Teleportation's
Fair
the
enough.
best. You can picture like you have to see a picture there, right, of the location. You ever see the movie Jumper with Hayden Christensen and Samuel Jackson? It came out right after Revenge of the Sith, and it's the two of them in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Samuel
Yeah.
Jackson is hunting Hayden Christensen. It's a great movie. Jumper's awesome. It's not good, but it's good.
When did that come out?
It's Jumper at 2007. It was either right before or right after Revenge of the Sith. It must have been after Revenge of the Sith. Whoever makes Arby's classic roast beef free has my vote as well. I fucking hate Arby's. Specifically, yo, Arby's, Hardee's, Carl Jr. are all fucking gross. Carl's Jr. made me sick as fuck. Yeah, I'm sure you are, roast beef eating motherfucker. Fuck you.
Okay, hold on. It's H.res.577. Hold on. I'll share it right here. This was in July when Trump said that it was a hoax and the FBI said that there were no files. They all They all voted on it. It was a singular, standalone bill. This one right here. And every Republican voted no. Every single one of them. And I'm just saying, I give credit where Muffler. I give credit where
What the fuck was
where it
that?
is due. Yeah, what the hell was that?
You got a voice changer on, bro? Muffler sounds like an elite. Yo, say Ushki Booshki. Say Ushki Booshki. Yo, say World War. Ushki Booshki.
Bro, what?
Oh, Ushkuba. Why do you sound what did you do to your mic? He sounds like a fucking elite, bro. Oh, Shububa. Yiskabu. Ah, Ububa.
Yo, honestly, Pilgrim High, first of all. Secondly, honestly, Arby's has got the best fries in fast food game. Sorry. I don't care.
He's trying to
Here we go. My bad.
Dude, that was amazing. That was not your man. That was the best thing
We're
I was like, what the fuck?
I was trying to
You
say, what
sounded-
are we looking at, boys? You're not going to look at me gussied up right now because I'm not ready for our play date later today. But what do we? Oh, you dirty bastard!
This is what I'm looking at. This is what I dream about at night, man. This is my dream right here.
We're gonna get caught up today, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, the plan is watching 4 episodes, and that'll get them caught up. And then Thursday is the last episode of the season, so we can watch that whenever, I guess.
Hopefully,
the finale.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't take 5 hours to get through 4 episodes. Rolling.
Yeah, because I'm on a timeline on that today at some point. But no, I was jumping on this first because I got the invite and I wasn't trying to be an asshole or anything in chat or anything. So I'm just curious. I mean, what can my perspective lend to you boys? All right, because I'm a millennial that's been through the Bush years and on. So I can lend some. Yeah.
So were you around for Ross Perot?
I was too young for that. About the earliest memories I have were maybe vaguely watching Fox News about the 2000 election issues, regarding Florida and then the fallout after that. And then primarily the first memories I have politically are paying attention to the news right around September 11th when that happened. And the reason is because that was probably one of the most televised things. I mean, I was in school watching it as it happened, seeing the reaction of adults around me, and then everything that happened after that, So I was watching the news, and I could slowly start seeing, in the following years, I could start to see division coming up because there was that really heavy unity moment, and we passed a lot of legislation we probably shouldn't have in retrospect during that time, which but after, exactly, yeah, that's why I was like, repeal that shit. No, but yeah, so after that, though, I could see the conversation change slowly over time. And even in high school, I could tell, I was like, oh, well, this is there. I don't think there's a way to solve this problem, because again, the political ideology started taking over where it was very much either pro USA or pro communism and stuff. I started noticing that more and more in the news. And then, everything got weird, especially when I got into college, because right around that time you're dealing with Obama's first term and his election, and then everything else that happened after that. But yeah, so I've been pretty active since I was a kid, trying to pay attention to things, and I can definitely tell you that I was really disappointed in Republicans by the time I was an adult, because obviously Bush did really messed up things for us, as far as over. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going conspiratorial on you right now, but the thing is, just from the real politics standpoint of the invasions that we did, the way we acted in the Middle East,
Yeah.
the way we didn't let the market correct itself, for better or for worse.
Yep.
In '08, like all of those things have had knock-on repercussions for the economy and for our daily lives. And, so I've seen these things get progressively worse in my lifetime, and it's very frustrating on a lot of levels, but, yeah. And so again, like from different things that happened right around the end of Bush's years, the Republicans were in turmoil because of what was going on. Again, people forget about the fact that there was like the Tea Party movement regarding spending.
Uh-huh.
And then there was also other issues too, like where we had like, internal strife as far as, well, what's the direction the party's going to go in now? And so we ended up choosing McCain, during that period of time, which is fucking retarded. And then, later on Romney, but, so regarding McCain and what they did, I know,
Romney.
Right? But
you guys really ran Romney.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe the most charismatic president that had ever been up to that point. You
I
guys
know,
ran
man.
Romney.
I know, dude. It was absolutely retarded. It was stupid. All right, but I was voting Libertarian at the time anyway, though. So that was the thing,
Okay.
because during that time, so I don't think I voted in '08 because I saw what the Republicans did in the primary to Ron Paul, and I just completely, I was like, nope, I'm done. I threw up my hands.
If it wasn't McCain, I don't think that Obama would have won. If I'm actually being honest with you, I think
it would have been close.
Yeah, I think people saw that McCain was like really old, and they didn't. It was either that or it was that Sarah Palin was like batshit crazy. It was like one of those two things. But
Sarah she's a little out there. She's a little out there.
I can see Russia from my house. Shut the fuck up.
I mean,
right.
Relatively speaking, Alaska, like if you go out on the Aleutian Islands, my dad was stationed on the Aleutian Islands in the Navy back in the day. So yeah, you get pretty close to fucking Russia. But
but it's still a stupid quote though.
I know.
But
I've been in those islands. You are close to Russia, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that I kind of get why like Trump is
My dog needs to shut up.
What I can kind of understand why Trump is like the Republican Party now. I get that, but I also though, yeah, that's why he was friends with Hillary and Bill Clinton for like 20 years. But point is that I guess my question to you, Muffler, is because I know that like cultural stuff matters, but policy matters too. So my question to you is does Trump hold to, I guess, your policies, or is he just better to you than most of the other Republicans? Like, I guess my question is, if it wasn't Trump that the Republicans picked in 2016 and it was someone else, would you still be voting third party now if he had like never won in 2016?
Oh, absolutely. I'd be voting third party if I voted at all. Yeah, I mean, because the issue is that the whole idea of Ron Paul, like again, that was the small government. Like that was the Tea Party movement kind of overlapping at the same time. So you had this big push for reform with the Republicans, and they didn't get there. They got shut out by the Uniparty Republicans, the neocons, right? Which we still have worked with them from time to time, So like being able to look at that, you can see it clearly. But I didn't even vote for Trump in 2016 either. I voted Gary Johnson, which
really?
He caught a lot. Yeah, 100%, man. I liked Gary a lot, except he was a little retarded when it came to the whole issue of the Middle East, and they were talking about what was happening in Syria, and he just gave a bonehead answer and stuff. But I mean, he was right on domestic issues and stuff too, But again, up through that point, I had voted Libertarian, and then I will tell you exactly what my mindset was afterwards. I was like, oh, well, this is interesting because the establishment party did not like Trump at all, and I was like, this is interesting because I don't like the establishment Republicans either because they were, Bushites, right? So I saw all of the repercussions that came out of that. And all of the hate he got and all the pushback and the stonewalling and everything that happened ever since then. And that radicalized me more. And I'm like, oh no, yeah, I'm pro Trump and I'll vote for him. So I voted for him in 2020 and I voted for him in 2024, 100%. But I did not vote Republican before that. And so he was the only reason why I did, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's honestly, I can't really. It's kind of like that's kind of why I vibe with Bernie, because the Democratic
he got boned
establishment,
just like yeah. I mean, he got cut out of the primaries, so yeah.
Yeah, no, they literally screwed him twice. So I will never ever vote for especially after 24, where they essentially screwed any like opposition that would have tried to run as a Democrat. I will never in my life vote for a Democrat as long as they are a part of the, as long as they're backed by the DNC. No, but the point that I'm making is that so you, I think, are genuine when you say that you really don't like the establishment
Roman,
Republicans.
Look at my screen for a second.
Okay.
What in tarnation was that, bro?
He's trying to make me goon.
Muffler, did you not watch the Goth Girl episode?
No, I wasn't able to, man.
Bro,
like, that's
look,
a legendary.
I had this as my profile picture the whole time.
Oh my god!
I made a female version of Rollo Films. I had the Goth version of Rollo Films.
Stop trying to make. Never mind. I won't go there.
Hey, Rollo Films is a character that can change into anything.
So
I have a Dark Levin version of Rollo Films. I have a Michael Jackson version of Rollo Films.
All right.
So,
yep, rolling. Mm-hmm.
I guess my question to you, Muffler, is, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but this has been for like both. This has been for both terms, and
hold on. No, I have to answer this right now. No, Ronnie, that was a female version of him, a goth version of him, only for that stream.
Was hot as hell.
It's a Japanese thing. You have to, watch a lot of the spicy stuff to, know how that happens. It's all good.
Yeah, it's like Naruto's sexy jutsu, except it was my emo girl jutsu, my goth girl jutsu.
So I just wanted to say,
yeah.
So this has literally since Carter, Goldman Sachs has had like their say in like every like president's cabinet and such. But I guess my question to you is does it bother you that Trump's got Goldman Sachs people in his cabinet now? Because it bothered me. It bothered me when like Biden had it in his. Like I was pissed the hell off because I was like, okay, nothing's gonna change now because Biden just put like Goldman Sachs people as like
there's two things that you have to judge this on.
Real quick, what's the name of the company in GTA? Isn't it Schlongman Sachs?
Probably
something like that, yeah.
So the thing you have to answer this question, okay, you have to understand two important things. All right, so there's the realpolitik aspect of life, and then there is the ideological purity, right? So from an ideological pure standpoint, I don't like the concept because I'm pretty against the banking industry post, the Federal Reserve Act and stuff like that. I have some major issues with central banking and the power it accumulates over time, especially post World War II for the United States, right? So from an ideological standpoint, I do have issues with it, right? But from a realpolitik standpoint, I do not care because you start looking at more basic issues about your life. And it's like, well, can he marginally make my life better in these aspects? Culturally, are we getting wins in certain aspects that make life better for people around you? You know, things along those lines. So from a real politics standpoint, I don't have issues with it, but from an ideological standpoint, I do. And I try to separate those two because I'm pretty radical in my ideology, but I understand that I can't achieve what I want. You know, they made that pretty clear when they, shot, my boy in the foot, and kept him from winning. Like, again, I think the right answer would have been Ron Paul. And I know that would have been highly idealistic on my end, but, yeah, that's the way it is, so it just is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I probably would have disagreed with him economically, the country would still probably be better off right now if Ron Paul had gotten in over anyone else that
Ron
has
Paul,
since him.
genuinely, I think he is like a true American.
Yes.
I think he can very much hold both sides, and I think he's respected by both sides. And I do think that Ron Paul would have been a good president. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, Rand is pretty good. I mean, he has his issues, but I just appreciate his standpoint too, because he had great ways to address many different problems. Again, he was a former doctor. He served in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken, too. So
Yes.
he had a lot of things going for him in understanding how things work. I like his small government approach. The only issues that I've learned. So again, when I was younger too, I definitely went down a rabbit hole with Ayn Rand, and I do appreciate the objectivist philosophy on a lot of things. But the major issue that I took from it, especially with what you get from society at large, was, you just throw up your hands, give up, let the system crash, like accelerationism style line of thought. And that's not a way to live your life. As a person in his 30s, I can definitely say that you need to get your feet invested, your feet in the fire. You need to, make friends. You need to get out there. You need to do things. And that bond that you make with the people around you, whether or not you're able to find a wife, have a family, do these different things, all those things are what make life worth living, and you can't just, wait until this big thing is going to happen and then, pick up the pieces afterwards, because you just be sitting waiting your whole life, so that's the thing, right? So but the other issue I have with objectivist philosophy is around free market capitalism in the strictest sense, because when you combine free market capitalism with globalization, what you end up having is with the liberal world order, right? So basically half of the world uses the US dollar as the reserve currency. We have like basically total control because of that fact. And we have free and open trade with these other countries. The issue is they each have their own regulations. And if we don't seriously look at import, export tariffs and control, what ends up happening is it's a race to the lowest common denominator, where whatever value we have is stripped from us and sent overseas, and they don't benefit either. What ends up happening is the corporation benefits, having a higher margin. Okay, and they have no loyalty to anybody. They are just in for self-survival, which I can respect. However, we need to stop that from happening, right? And so that's why I do like certain policies that we're trying to put in place. I fully understand it's going to cause pain, and I know that it's going to cause a lot of issues, but it has to happen because it's not about today; it's about tomorrow, right?
So I agree with you. Let me tell you something. I've been saying this for months, and I've had multiple conversations with my boss, who's a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Although we are one of the biggest in the country for what we do, we're still a small business, and a lot of our fish come out of Israel, so we've been affected by the war.
Sure.
And I told him, and I knew he was thinking about it. I was like, "So when do you think the tariffs are gonna hit us?" And he goes, "Oh, they already are beginning." And there's certain distributors that literally will not ship fish to the U.S. anymore.
There's a problem with the tariffs, though, guys, because
so hold on, I'm not finished. Let me finish. So I have customers coming in all the time going, Why? Yeah, we lost an entire fucking shipment of very expensive fish because they bombed the airport.
Dude.
So my fish got bombed. Seriously.
That's
And
crazy.
dude, our one guy from Pakistan, a fucking G. We called him and we were like, "Yo, you're not gonna be shipping, right? Because like of all this shit going on." He goes, "No, I hopping in the plane right now." And we're like, "What?" And he goes, "No, I fly over war zone. They won't shoot civilian plane." We're like, "Okay, bro." He got us our fucking fish. That motherfucker flew over a war zone with a fuck ton of fish in his plane. That's badass, I'm gotta say. The fish trade is just like the drug trade. There's fish smugglers. There's private fish dealers.
Bro,
That is a rich
fish.
man sport.
It's
that
a
is
fish.
insane, okay?
The pet trade is just as big as the drug trade, and you wouldn't know it unless you work in it. Like, here's the thing. Technically speaking, if somebody comes to me and says, "I need this animal," I can say it's illegal in this state, but I can get it. We don't do that, but we know how to do that. You know what I mean? Because I've gotten an arowana that you can't ship from Colombia to America, but you can ship it from Colombia to Panama to America. Because they can ship it to Panama, but they can't ship it from Colombia to America. But they can ship it to Panama. So we have to have them ship the animal to Panama and then ship it to America. And it has to land in Florida and then get shot up to New York and then back down to PA. Because of all these different state laws, that's how we do it. So I can get these animals. It's just like, and there's, like I said, bro, this guy's a private fish dealer who flew over a war zone. That money's fucking worth it if he's doing that.
I guess rich people gonna rich because that just seems so beyond me. Like,
imagine it.
No, I mean, like illegally smuggling in GPUs, I could totally understand. Okay, because I'm a gamer. Or
these are
one day maybe the manga or anime, you got to smuggle it into the States or something. But I mean, like, I'm not, yeah, that's wild.
Some of these animals are thousands of dollars. I mean, oh my God, Pilgrim.
Oh, whatever, dude. Oh man, chat going wild.
Think about the seriously, think about like one fish that I have in my store right now is $1,500. Now think about if that guy had 6 of those, plus all the other things. Like, these things are worth just as much as drugs. It's crazy.
So the next thing we know is that they harvest their corpses.
Legally, I cannot ship, and I'm not even saying this is like legally you can't ship black bearded dragons because Australia won't do it all the way to America, but they'll ship them to like Asia and then Europe, and then it'll go to America from Europe. You know what I mean? So you can
Indiana Jones style, fucking hopping. Oh, we gotta hop it to Thailand, and then we're gonna hop it from Thailand over to India, and then over and over. Oh
my
God,
and it's literally in a very similar plane to that. That's what our guy delivers in. He just lands on the tarmac. He lands on the tarmac at the Philadelphia airport, and my boss drives on the tarmac, picks it up, puts it in the back of his van, and drives back.
You gotta love 21st century infrastructure to try to bring in exotic animals from across the world. I'm sure that's an efficient use of everything.
Well,
wild.
You want red dragons? I have a red dragon right now.
Red dragon peripherals are not very good.
And come get it.
I'm joking.
Red dragons are awesome, bro. It's a red bearded dragon.
I was talking about the game, peripherals that are an offshoot of MSI. They're called Red Dragon. So yeah, that's Flaming Dragon.
Red Dragon. All right, enough of the fucking jokes.
Yeah. No, was there more questions for me though too on that, Roman? Like, because we tried to lighten the mood up a little bit there as well. But yeah, man, what we got going on, boys?
Oh no, so Roland, so I know you won't mind this, but we kind of want to start you know Don. I want to start the show soon because I'm kind of on a schedule here. No, but so
Okay.
like, in all seriousness though, so like,
Yo,
would you guys,
that is so fucking that's a fact.
bruh, um, so so I believe you guys can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe when Herbert Hoover was president, he tried to also do tariffs. And I believe that part of the reason that the economy crashed in the 20s was not solely due to the tariffs. There were a lot of reasons, but you guys, I think a lot of people, and this goes for both sides, a lot of people don't understand, I think, that that tariffs don't a tariff works if there's infrastructure behind it. So my question is there infrastructure currently being built in this country that is backing up the tariffs? Because if there's not, the tariffs are not going to work. It's just going to hurt us.
You're talking
That's
about
kind of
illegal importation.
I'm talking about all parts of it because, like, say that we put like a 30% tariff on China for their electronics, right? Um,
I
we
like
would
my
be paying more.
earphones. So, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, say that you want to buy like a TV, right? And say that like a TV is like $900.
Okay.
Under that tariff, it would be like 16 to 1700. But like the point, okay, a better one, a much more important one. Can't If we put a 25% tariff on Canada for lumber, right? 80% of our lumber that we use to build houses and buildings and such comes from Canada. So the problem
Mm,
is that if we don't have if if we don't have the means to make our own lumber or to produce our own lumber, then we're going to be paying a lot more for lumber. It's not Canada paying for it. It's us. We, the taxpayers, are going to be paying for it. That's how tariffs work. If you don't have
yeah.
your if you don't have your infrastructure to back it up first.
Right. Do you
That's
understand the market forcing though that happens because of it? Because you're just looking at how it affects you, but you're not looking at the bigger picture of market forces on what that does, right? So if the price goes up because of import, that encourages local infrastructure to be built as a reaction, right? Because there's an opportunity cost to build a business around this and use our local resources, right? So as long as you don't have regulation that would prevent you from doing so, you can maximize your local resources, okay? Once you
What if it's cheaper to
maximize,
go overseas though? What if it's cheaper to go
it's only
overseas?
cheaper to go overseas right now because you don't have import tariffs on it. And so that means that we don't have a lumber industry because you've
Yeah.
outsourced it to another place around the world.
Well, we also get lumber from Canada.
Right. I'm saying around the world. Like, it doesn't matter, just outside of the United States, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't have import tariffs on lumber, right, and it's cheaper for them to do it over there, maybe because of either labor costs or abundance and labor, whatever the case is, right? Whatever makes it cheaper overseas means that it'll be done overseas because it's a race to the bottom. It's the most value you can get out of it, right? But sometimes it's not about value. It's about, like, from a protectionist standpoint, you want to be able to do your own lumber industry in the United States, right? So if you have
Yeah.
an import tariff, okay, and you make it to where it's more expensive, right, then you can potentially build up that infrastructure here in the U.S. as a result after the fact.
Muffler, I do have to weigh in here as somebody who studied environmental science with
Okay.
this. We fucked up our lumber industry by taking too much, which is why we have to go and outsource to other countries right now. Like, we took so much, which is why we have protected lands, right? We took way too much lumber back in the day, especially during Manifest Destiny and things like that.
Yep.
That and
I
there was
live next to national forests. I'm kind of with you. I understand in
there was
part.
a big like so that is a problem, is that we've had to let our forests come back because we've taken so much from our own country. Okay, this is going to be a slightly radical idea, but I hope in the future we work together so well with Canada and Mexico that everybody just agrees to become North America.
I do not agree to that.
No.
In the future, not in our lifetime, way in the
No.
future.
Well, we
No.
don't speak the
No.
same language. We don't have the same culture. Like, there are issues with that. Now, if we
Nobody in
homogenize
America
on some
speaks-
level,
Nobody in America speaks the same language or has the same culture.
yes, they do.
All right. Yeah, we all have American culture.
Oh, you're correct. No, I'm saying way in the future, I hope that humanity becomes to the point of like what's it called? Fucking the UNSC, where all of Earth is Earth. Earth.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
okay.
humans
I
aren't
mean, it's
gonna.
idealistic. I mean, I can appreciate your idealism. I mean, I don't think it'll end up being like that. I think you'd still have major, you know, yeah, like it, because it's like, well, what's going to be the universal language? You're going to have like other questions too, like what's the dominant culture? Like, I think it's just going to be regionalism, but you can still expand that out into space. That's totally fine.
Well, yeah,
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. But what I'm saying is, I think we should like. I want to see us work together with our neighbors.
Yeah, I don't have anything against that. Like, so
Because
here's the thing:
I think we should be
you can have
united
reciprocal
as
tariffs. So if
because
you really need lumber, then and you absolutely are going to use it from them, then you can try to make the trade, equal in another way. For example, like then that's where you go into the negotiation table. And I like having our negotiator the way we do in the presidency right now. So I'm all for that if that's what we need, right? But I want us to be maximally self sufficient because that's just how you want to govern yourself. All right. If you're self sufficient, then that means that, if something does happen in XYZ country, it doesn't affect you. That's the whole thing. Like, I mean, I know that everybody likes to argue globalism, and that's great. That's good for profits. There's a lot of benefits culturally on some levels because I do like my Japanese media and stuff, right? But there's other.
I only agree to globalism in the future once we've figured it all out. Like I said, it doesn't happen until 2552 in Halo or 2500. You know what I mean? It takes a very long time for humanity to do that. So it's not going to happen in our lifetime. I'm not preaching it. I don't like the idea of the world order.
I mean, I think
of the idealism of Halo, but I mean, the one world government is run by the UN,
which is not very good in my opinion.
No, in Halo,
there's some major issues.
It's a representative from every country, but every country acts as though they are a state, and then eventually it's a representative, and that's how they govern Earth. And then there's a representative from every planet that governs the colonies.
And you see, that's an interesting concept because the moment you have an authority beyond the United States that governs over us, at that point, then you do not have sovereignty, which is a major issue. You need to be able to have the ability to determine your own destiny.
You want to.
Well, no, in Halo,
we
would though, because the thing is, the planets then act like the colony planets act like states.
We want to be,
and Earth acts as though
conspiratorial.
Earth is like Coruscant. Think of it like Coruscant. I mean, if we could get to the point where it's like Coruscant from Star Wars, I think we'd be good.
I mean, if you want to be conspiratorial, though, if you want to be conspiratorial, I mean, it's not even really a conspiracy, but if you want to be, I mean, Muffler, you said that it's, other countries dictating American policy. We have literally like corporations that are nowhere near Washington that literally dictate our policy now. So I'm just saying,
I have a problem with it.
I don't fully agree with Roland's point, but I would, if you can get all of the governments to be clean, and I'm talking clean of like corruption, in a perfect utopian world, I would much rather like the UN be like, hey, the US needs to do this and that, rather than like Raytheon and Boeing being like, oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I need your military budget to be $1.7 trillion, but 600 of that billion dollars is going to make us weapons. Like
Yeah.
that's what I would rather. I would, if we have to be governed by someone that's not our own politicians, I'd rather it be done by a country that has cleaned itself up of, corruption.
Well, I mean, here's the
Um,
thing. The government halo ain't perfect. Oni really runs everything. You know what
well,
I
yeah,
mean?
of
But
course.
but
Is
but
that
the
an AI? Or,
no ONI,
yeah.
The Office of Naval Intelligence, Oni. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's government. Okay, so it's military. Okay, yep.
Yeah. So Oni actually really runs everything. They are the CIA on steroids. But the idea of it is that without unitization on Earth, humanity never made it to the stars, and it was because of the the Fujimoto slip space drive. Fuji something. It was a Japanese guy who created the slip space drive, and he worked together with America. I want to say China, Russia, and they all worked together to create the slip space drive. And the slip space drive allowed us to get to Mars within like days, like a couple days, and like that allowed for obviously, and we could branch off to terraform other planets, and then we ended up going all the way out to Harvest, which was like farther out in the galaxy, right? And the slip space drive like was worked together, like he was basically Einstein and said like, hey, we could all work together on this, which is never going to happen, right? But like that's how it worked, right? So humanity worked together in order to get into space and sent representatives from all the different countries when they went to Mars.
Sure. I mean, ISS is kind of on that aspect of it, but I don't see why individual countries can't do it anyway. It's totally fine.
No, I think that's
Even
totally
private
fine.
industry too. Like, I mean, I think that you'll probably end up with something closer to the Expanse, but maybe on steroids because
Never
the
watched
United States.
great things.
What the fuck? You have not watched the Expanse?
No, but I heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's very, very good, at least for 3 seasons. So
Yeah. Season 4 is not that good, right?
Yeah, we need to watch that though sometime.
Maybe
Man, I
we'll
think
do-
you're gonna enjoy that.
Well, I might do Black Sails, but I'm also
You
gonna
and your butt pirate stuff.
I don't know. How do you guys feel? Did I mention it last week that I was thinking about doing readings on Patreon?
Yeah,
Like,
What was
I think
that
you should,
called
brother.
back in the 90s? That was
well, I was gonna do
Masterpiece Classic presents.
I was gonna
Pinocchio.
do like full on
Something.
like I was gonna start with Treasure Island, but then I figured I'd read through the Silmarillion and the Young Boba Fett novels because they're short, and I could probably do one in a session because they're